Welcome back to DigiBros. You guys have ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes? If you've ever wondered, like, you know, when one episode ends, the time between the next one begins. What happens? Nobody
What
wonders. Happens when Victor and Hope are when off camera? You know, do they just start arguing? Do they actually hate each other?
It's true.
Is this all a facade?
Yes.
What actually happens off camera is that Victor goes and gets a snack. He stands in front of Hope, and then he wiggles his booty, and she smacks it over and over again, and he goes, "Booty, booty, 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 rocking everywhere." And then we meme, and I sag my pants, and it's funny.
Yes.
And we play. Guys, being in a relationship is just you play with each other's butts all the time. It's just like having.
It's so fucking funny because like watching you sag your pants, you just have like so much ass. And it's like this fucking ass, just like whoop.
Booty.
Yeah.
Man, guys, having a girlfriend is just like having a best friend who's a girl and you play with each other's butts all the time. Like that's all it's really about.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the meaning of life right there.
The third seed.
The third seed!
Yes.
Do 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 do.
But yeah, that basically is what it's like having a significant other.
Yes. You just play with each other's butts all the time.
Butt touching. And memes.
And memes, yes. And butt stuff. Lots of butt stuff. Because that's what I like. I like the butt stuff!
Victor, I thought you classified yourself as both a tits and ass man.
That is true. I am a tits and ass man. Because how can you choose? Victor's not good at choosing. Victor wants it all.
Clearly.
Don't burden Victor with the decision to make. When he can have his cake and eat it too. Yeah! Now I guess we just wait for that to grow.
It's
Fuck
you! A watched pot never boils.
You can just torture everyone in this world.
Yeah, they don't care.
Alright, so when that's grown, we'll have like, what, 55 stars?
Yes.
Is that enough for this level? Do you think we've kind of...
I think we've done pretty good.
We've done a decent amount.
Pretty good.
I know some of these there's like, you can't get until the second pass where there's like Princess Peach comes to every level and she'll give you a star, and then there's like there's Koopa races. When you come back through, there's these race boys and you race them, and that's like a couple stars. So I can't get all of the stars. Agent Cooper, Booper, Scooper, Scooter.
Yes, Agent Cooper, Pooper, Scooper, Scooter.
Shit, I gotta look at my phone and figure out the topics.
Yeah, Victor, you do a topic.
I meant to look at the topics between the episodes and I forgot.
Victor topic. It's time for Victor to look at his phone. And check his calendar?
Why am I checking the calendar? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I was like, what are you doing?
Got distracted.
That's interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, I did that one. Capitalism. I don't want to talk about that yet.
Capitalism. More like crapitalism.
Alright, maybe I'll get into Conrad responses.
Okay.
Because there was the Digi and May episodes, and so I have some things to say about the things
some stranger
they
things?
said. So, I mean, the funniest meme is Conrad is trans.
Oh god, you mean gender fluid?
Yes, gender fluid.
Don't fucking misidentify him,
And so
dude.
that's where I'm going with this, was the whole Conrad gender fluidity thing, because first of all, kind of hilarious. How many stars do we have? 60? 60 fucking stars.
Motherfucking stars.
0 deaths.
0 deaths.
We're kicking ass. We're taking names. So Conrad goes on to detail in the Digimay episode.
Correct.
About how he's gender fluid as fuck and basically a giant homosexual.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
It was interesting. Because, First of all, they're really into role-playing.
For sure.
Which I don't fucking understand at all. We have never done that.
Yeah.
To any extent.
It's not
especially in a
my
sexual
thing.
extent. That, to me, it's fucking weirds me out.
A
Like,
little bit.
I'm not saying, like, I'm not judging them for it. I don't think they're weird. I feel like we're probably more weird for not being into it.
Because a lot of people are
because most people
that.
seem like they are. But to me, if I were to do that, I would feel creepy.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like, especially with the family, sibling stuff, I'm just not, like, I can never, like, something about the idea of being like, oh, Hope, you're my little sister and I'm gonna fuck you is weird as shit to me.
Especially because I'm older than you.
Yeah,
so
or you could be my One-chan. I could be like, One-chan,
But that would be weird because I don't want to fuck little boys.
I can just imagine what Conrad and May are like doing that. Like, I can picture it so perfectly because I know Conrad so well. I know exactly, like, how that's gotta be going down, and it fills me with disgust.
I have never been that into the roleplay thing.
Yeah, roleplay
especially because it's
strange.
always like, you know, the master, servant, nurse, doctor,
there's some weird
teacher,
dynamic things
student.
going on.
The nurse-doctor thing will never work for me because I work in medicine, and so it's the unsexiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's not hot. It just ain't. But yeah, not into, especially not the family stuff. Ooh, no.
I feel like there's a small element of roleplay when it comes to you know, sexy stuff. You know, not gonna make Hope uncomfortable too many
that's
details
more just
about
us
that.
being
But
goofy, though.
well,
like,
we can be goofy and we can be you know, sexy talk too, where it's like almost, you know, you're. Like, that's a character that we wouldn't be anywhere but the bedroom.
but it's still
like,
not us.
But yeah, but it's not us pretending
never
to
somebody
be
else.
like a family
It's always
dynamic.
Hope and Victor.
Yeah, it's Hope and Victor. But it's, yeah, I don't know. The role playing was interesting. And the fact that they're both so into it. And I'm just like,
that's why they're perfect
they're
for
so
each other,
perfect
you know?
for each other. Yeah. It's like, this was the weird ass girl to compliment Conrad as this fucking weird ass guy. And it's beautiful.
That's why it works. Just like how you and I are super on the same page about these things.
Yeah. And I've never been one to roleplay in any extent. So, like, it's interesting to me because I don't come from that world. And so to hear them talk about it is just like, whoa. This is strange and different. Power to them, you know. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But then there was the on the gender fluidity of Conrad. It was interesting because, like, I feel like to call what Conrad was experiencing gender fluid kind of cheapens the value of the word gender fluid.
Yeah.
Where, like, I don't think that's what Conrad is and
that.
has experienced. And I think to an extent when you kind of just rope everything into these labels and make them really loose, then it's like, what does it even mean anymore?
It
you know?
Devalues.
Yeah,
the
it devalues
term.
it. And then it's kind of like the people who are really experiencing, like, some more intense versions of that. Sort of like the devaluing of OCD.
Yeah,
where, like,
exactly. For people who are super
fucking,
type A,
yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, I'm so OCD."
Everyone
like,
says
you're not,
it. Oh,
dude.
they'll say it's my OCD acting up, and it's like you don't have like these different quantities of OCD that are a thing. Like, you either are or you aren't. Like, that's something I even had to get over, of kind of realizing, okay, I'm not really OCD. Like, people who are really OCD are fucking, you know, they have some serious quirks going on.
Yeah.
Like,
they have a lot more that hinders their life.
yeah. Anytime someone thinks that they, like, are, like, being particular about things and, like, completing a task does not make you OCD, you know?
It might make you a perfectionist or a type A, but it doesn't make
even
you OCD.
Perfectionists have such a fucking loose, and that's another thing I want to talk about is perfectionism, but I'll get on that later. But, like, it's such a loose definition that people use where, like, it seems like everyone likes to go, I'm a perfectionist, if they, like, being driven to complete tasks and not half-ass things doesn't really make you a perfectionist.
That's true.
Like, think about what perfect means as a word, you know? Are you really striving to be completely perfect in everything you do, that you're this fucking perfectionist?
Just because you want to do something well doesn't mean
like,
you're
because you
a
don't want to half-ass it.
It just means you care about what you're doing.
You don't want to release a product that's not perfect, or not up to a certain standard, but there's a difference with, like, perfect, you know?
Yeah, that means everything you do has to be 10 out of 10 masterpiece, you know?
What led me to talk about that? What was it? Why did I start
OCD.
these semantic? OCD, we're talking about OCD.
You're talking about,
Oh yeah, gender fluid.
Gender
okay,
fluid, yes.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think Conrad's, gender
I don't
fluid.
see that as being gender fluid, to be honest.
I can see where, like, you also have to consider the amount of depression that's gone into being Conrad's life, and, like, I think it does have to do with, like, not being comfortable with himself probably at certain times, and, like, wishing to have a different identity, but I don't think that's the same as, like, gender fluid, you know? I don't think he brought up how he never really had gender dysphoria, and I think that's something that's important with that, you know, when you're talking about trans people and, like, gender identity, if you didn't really experience that gender dysphoria, like, when I think gender fluid, I think this is someone who's flipping between, like, being really uncomfortable with their gender, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like,
I don't want it to be something that can just be flippant.
just feeling very feminine, or thinking about, or I guess feeling the opposite of what your gender is, or thinking about what it would be like, or wishing to be the opposite of what your gender is, doesn't necessarily mean you're gender fluid.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure a lot of people have those thoughts, and it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't rope you into that particular label necessarily. It's not something I would say is probably that abnormal. I'm sure a lot of people have thoughts like that.
I think I've, you know, time to time growing up, I probably wished I was a girl, you know? Now, there was an interesting snippet that they kind of pushed under the rug real quickly, was, like, where Conrad was casually, like, May was like, you should dress up like a girl, and he was like, yeah, with you I might dress up like a girl, and I was like, this is something they're gonna do.
Yes.
Conrad's gonna start wearing women's clothes.
She was like, oh, make sure you don't look shitty.
Yeah, they mentioned it really fast, but they sounded really serious, and I was like, that's gonna happen.
That's a real thing.
Conrad's gonna start dressing like a woman. Now that's interesting. If Conrad becomes a drag queen, which is very different from being transgender.
Yeah, that's not
But
the
if
same.
Conrad becomes a drag queen, that will be interesting as fuck. That will be very interesting.
Yes, of course. Being a drag queen does not have anything to do with being genderqueer or having gender dysphoria. Necessarily. Not inherently the same thing.
Yeah, not inherently the same thing. There's
Gotta get that nut.
differences. You gotta get woke to that shit. Yeah, I busted a nut.
I've watched enough RuPaul's Drag Race to know a thing or two about this.
You see me bust a nut?
I did, yes.
I busted a nut, bro. Bro, I busted a nut so hard.
Yeah,
I busted that nut, bro.
You sure did.
Bro, I nutted. Bro, I nutted so hard. Let's see how many fucking stars I can get, guys. I'm going all the way, dude. I'm going hard. I guess I didn't have enough to say about Connor being gender fluid, but it was funny.
Have you ever experienced gender dysphoria, Victor?
No. I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Maybe?
I wouldn't say dysphoria, you know? I maybe entertained the idea of being a woman, but not, like, been uncomfortable with being male, you know? I think that's what gender dysphoria is, right?
Yeah, it's discomfort with your gender.
Uncomfortable with your gender. I don't know. I'm a very feminine boy. I would say I am more feminine than masculine in my traits and my emotions and stuff, but, like, I wouldn't say that makes me feel like, you know, like I'm not supposed to be a man. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make me feel less male.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I want a vagina. or boobs, you know.
You don't personally want them?
I'm not disgusted by my own penis and
yeah,
shit like that.
Go.
Like that's
a
a real
qualifier.
dysphoria. Yeah. You know, there's the trans people who change genders and keep their unit. You know.
Yeah, that's true. This is true.
So you can be comfortable with that.
Good dodge. And not so good dodge.
Actually, you know, from what I've heard and trans stuff that I've consumed, it seems like the men get more uncomfortable with their penis than the women do of, like, having a vagina. Like, usually trans women don't mind their vagina.
Yeah,
they just don't want to have boobs.
You should just get used to it, you know?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I guess the vagina's just fine. It's just fine.
That is interesting though. I wonder why that is. Why men become more uncomfortable with their
and
own,
I could be talking out of my ass.
Born with genitalia than women.
I could be full of shit.
Is this a real statistic or did Victor make it up?
It's just an observation Victor has made from watching documentaries about things.
So it could be complete
bullshit. It could be complete bullshit. Because Victor doesn't actually know anything about it. He only has secondhand knowledge of things he learned in documentaries.
You have approximate knowledge of many
things. You know, this is how liberals learn.
Yeah, watching documentaries.
Yeah, watching documentaries and then getting riled up about things that they have no fucking idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, that sounds right. Dude, these
man.
fuzzies are just
I watched a little
slaying
Vice thing on Antifa today. That was interesting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just a bunch of transgender millennial cucks getting really pissed off and just being slightly more violent protesters. It's great. But it's, you know, they're just a bunch of fucking pissed off millennials who think they're doing a good thing when it's just like, dude, you're not fucking doing anything. You're not accomplishing shit.
God damn, these guys are wrecking you.
I'm not being very careful here because they're annoying.
Yeah.
They look like tooth decay. This is what tooth decay looks like, embodied in a monster in Mario.
Yeah, you're not wrong. They really freaked me out as a kid, though.
Those guys? Were they in the Mario game?
They were in Yoshi's World, and I was like super scared of them.
They're the fucking wacky looking. They're some goofy fucks, man.
They're creepier in 2D. Like the 3D ones look dumb. They like, ooh, I'm just big dumb goofy thing.
They look pretty fucking retarded.
But 2D, I was kind of like, oh, I don't like you.
Some of the music in this game is weird. Like the soundtrack is really good, but it sounds very not Mario sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
That's generally a thing with this game, is that it gets into like these weird realistic graphics with the people sometimes, and it like the music feels very not Mario, and it feels very Sonic throughout. And it's interesting. But then the mechanics of it make it feel so Mario that it all comes together. And this game is fucking, God, just the movement in this game is so fucking incredible. They did it. They mastered it. And you have all of the tools from the very beginning to just fucking fuck around. All of the fucking takeover enemies with the hat are just so much fucking fun. So cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool guys.
Because it's not just that you can take over a monster guy. It's that you get to do shit with them, you know? Like, moving around with them is fun. And everything has its own control scheme and gimmick that works really well. Speaking of, let's fucking go, dude. You know where we're going?
To hell?
Yes. We're going to hell.
Alright.
I don't know if that's the right entrance to hell.
Oh, maybe not.
Actually, I think it might be. I think it's anywhere.
It's anywhere.
Yes. Let's do it, bitches! You know what's down here? Ooh.
Hell?
It's a spooky land.
Ooh.
The deep wood.
Deep woods.
Down here, there's a spooky guy.
Is this, where we fight the Bloodborne?
Yes. The Bloodborne.
Oh my god, you're a tree.
I am a tree, yes.
Nice.
Video Game Donkey was very excited. I need to show you his video on this. He was just very happy about it.
I can imagine all the shenanigans he got up to. It's probably great.
He was like, look at me, I'm a tree. Where is he? There's a scary guy. There he is!
Oh!
It's the T-Rex! Except this T-Rex is wearing a hat, so you can't take control of him.
No!
So he's just fucking after your shit, and he's scary. Because it's dark. In the deep wood. Sparkle Rock. I knew that was a Sparkle Rock.
Oh shit, dude. That T-Rex is patrolling.
You're gonna get me before I can get the Sparkle Rock. Kick it around, kick it around, kick it around.
Get your shit going.
Yeah!
Ain't got time to fuck with this bitch.
Oh god, alright, I guess I gotta look up another topic. I don't know, you have any Digi and May stuff you had to talk about?
Yeah,
Any reactions, what they were talking about?
The gender fluid thing, definitely. The roleplay thing was pretty funny.
I think that was the big
but I wasn't
prevalent
surprised.
thing.
So I was just like, yeah, well.
Eh. Oh!
Well, that wasn't what you expected.
Yeah, with Connor, nothing is a surprise.
No. Yeah.
This whole lolly thing. I think he probably thinks of himself as a lolly.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Alright, where is it? I think it's up this whole way.
There he goes.
There it is, okay. Okay, we got quiet.
Sorry, I
was really
thinking
focused
about
on this,
the T-Rex.
on this mood. I was just thinking about the T-Rex.
He just, I don't know, man.
Is he cool?
Yeah,
like
he's
it?
cool.
I like that he came back in like in a different way, you know. Like,
I tend to.
Cause he was so brief the first time you see him.
In games that have a character that is like stalking you or is like a looming threat, I tend to get hyper focused on them.
I see.
Because I've watched and played a lot of games with like horror games with like the stalker enemy that you can't kill.
Yeah.
Like fucking Rule of Rose and shit like that, where you just have to run away from whatever monster, and so I'm always like
the
hyper
Slender
vigilant. No. don't talk about Slender Man while we're talking about like Rule of Rose and actually like cool, interesting horror games.
I didn't get all this
Like
stuff
a Clock
here, but
Tower.
whatever. This place is a nightmare.
Clock Tower is another cool stalker horror game. There's one with I don't remember the name of it, but it's got a girl and a white dog. That's the thing with the stalker horror games, is a girl and a dog. Rule of Rose has a girl
audience.
and a dog named Brown, and
Dog Brown.
the dog's name is Brown.
Dog Brown.
Dog Brown. And then
Like
the other
Doc
game
Brown.
I'm thinking of, I can't remember the name, has another like blonde-haired girl who has a white dog.
Ooh.
And the dog basically is the only thing that can fight the enemies, because
Maybe
you are a girl
The one is
and
inspired by the
suck.
other.
They
Girls do
both
suck.
Japanese,
Yeah,
so
girls are weak.
Nihongo no weak female character.
Nihongo no weak female.
Yeah.
Accurate.
I can't remember the name of the other game. If you guys know the game I'm talking about, with the blonde girl with the big titties and she's got the white dog.
And she's weak.
And she's weak. Leave it in the comments.
I mean, well, it's a given.
Got
that
a
any
heart,
girl is
lost a
weak.
heart. Nice.
Yeah. Girls are weak.
True.
Yeah. Alright.
Man, stalker games are cool.
You are right.
I like them. I can't play them because I get too scared, because I get hyper fixated on the stalker.
Yeah.
But they're really neat.
But you like that rush.
Neat genre. I like watching other people play them because
Yeah.
I can freak out when they're trying to hide. It's good times. It's good fun.
Good old
Clock
fun.
tower and shit like that. Good times. Like it. I like
Fuck my tits. Oh, and my ass. Fuck my ass.
it. Nice.
I just want to get on top of this block.
I'm very proud of you, buddy.
I know
You're
you're
doing
proud
so
of me.
good. You're doing so good. He's a brave
Get on
boy.
top of the block. I just want it. I want to be on there. God damn it.
We did have a question from one of the commenters on, I think, one of the Devil May Cry videos.
Oh yeah?
Saiba was asking for...
Fucking Kaiba?
Yes, Kaiba. Seto Kaiba was asking for our thoughts on tests, especially because I'm back in college now, and so I've been having to take a lot of tests.
What kind of tests?
School tests, I would assume, is what he means.
I only care about
But,
tests of might and courage.
You've had to take a test in the somewhat recent past.
What was that? What test was that?
Your drone test.
Oh god. Fuck. Fuck the drone test.
Yeah, Victor was trying to get his drone license, and he had to take
Did I talk
the
about
drone
that?
licensing
Yeah,
test.
the fucking... Drone test is hard as fuck, man. It's bullshit. It's full of trick questions and stupid wording that makes it super vague, where like any answer could be multiple things, and it's a nightmare. And I failed the drone test by one question. And it cost $150 to take that test, and that's why I haven't taken it again. Because that money was thrown into the toilet.
Yep. I have had to take a similar test for my license as a technician.
God damn it.
The VTNE is the name of the test that I had to take.
Fucking
And
plant boys.
the VTNE costs $500 to take.
Oh my fucking god.
And if you fail, guess what? You get to spend another $500 to take it again.
No!
So, yeah. I fucking studied my ass off for that shit.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of thing where the wording of the questions is all very vague. So
God.
like multiple
They have to
answers
make it as hard
could
as
be
fucking
right,
possible for
but
no
you have to
reason.
choose the most correct answer.
Even though you studied the fuck out of this shit and you basically know it, they just made a bullshit question where it's literally just the semantics of it are the only difference, you know?
It's,
where they're saying the same thing twice, but you have to know the specific semantics to be correct.
It's quite annoying.
You can't just give what's casually the right answer.
You can't give a right answer. It has to be the
The
most
right answer, yes.
Were you the rightest? Because if you weren't, it's wrong.
Were you the rightest boy?
And that's very much how all my questions on my school tests right now are as well. It's the what's the best answer? What's the most right? And
Accurate.
exactly.
Accurate.
And I guess in a sense that kind of testing is not as egregiously awful as the testing that they do in high schools and like your basic college. Because
with
high school,
SOLs and stuff, you can at least bullshit. Like, if you can be
But
an
that's the
idiot and at
problem,
least get a
Victor.
C, you know?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
With American high schools, they don't teach you to think critically. They teach you to memorize a bunch of shit and then vomit it out for the test and forget it.
Yes.
They don't teach any critical thinking. And that's not really a good thing for a workforce. You want employees who can critically think and solve problems. So if you have a
Yes.
bunch of idiots who all they know how to do is memorize something
But
and
then,
spew it for a test.
But then the opposite is just tests that are retardedly, like, hard for no reason, even though they don't need to be, you know?
I'm not saying that we have a perfect middle ground, but I am saying that I feel like high school and whatnot in America do not encourage critical thinking. It encourages rote memorization.
Because all they care about is staying credited.
Yeah.
So that, like,
all
what
that
is
matters
the
is
end
your
goal,
SOL
you know?
score.
All right, that ties into one of my big things, which is fucking just the pointlessness of everything, really.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like
welcome to nihilism in
all
Mario Odyssey.
all working exists. Like, you work so that you can live,
Yes.
and you live so that you can work. Like, there's never a point where you get to stop working. At least for us, because now retirement's not going to be a thing, you know?
Yeah, we aren't gonna have Social Security, so fuck us.
We're going to have to work the rest of our lives. And so it's like... God, it ties into everything, man. I hate everything. But when that's really like... I guess that's why I have to be an artist, because there has to kind of be a point to it all, you know? Because there's so many jobs that exist just for the sake of there being a job,
Yeah.
and like
for sure.
just for the sake of more things happening. Like all expansion of the economy has to happen, because
Zero deaths.
businesses have to keep spending money.
Yes.
Like, in order for them to continue and grow and expand, and like, because of the way our economy works, you have to keep spending. So you have to keep making. And everything has to grow. That's what capitalism is. Everything has to continually grow forever. There's no end to any of it.
It's an Ouroboros of capitalism.
I had a much better way to put this, and I'm just drifting off on it. What were you saying that got me on this?
I was talking about how American high schools don't encourage critical thinking.
Yeah, because in the state that schools are in now,
the nut at the dead end.
They have to do certain things to stay going, and they aren't benefiting anyone. So it's like, because they're giving shitty education.
Correct.
So they are failing to do what the actual point of school is, which is to properly educate everyone. Because there's a system put in place to make it so that if they don't properly educate everyone with these tests, then, you know, the tests determine whether or not they're properly educating you, even though the tests suck and aren't educating you. So the schools right now are not existing to properly educate a body of students. They're existing to pass tests so that they can continue to exist.
Correct.
So they're in this cycle of never really progressing. You know, there's no real point to any of it anymore. Nothing is being accomplished. It's just a cycle that perpetuates for the sake of there being a cycle to perpetuate. And nothing is being accomplished. And it seems like that for a lot of these weird businesses out there, where it's like the guy whose job is to help businesses, and like his job can only exist if there are businesses that are starting and failing. And so like that has to always be a thing that exists working. And like there's so much of that cyclical shit in capitalism that's just like a strange nightmare.
A strange.
But then it's also like it's necessary though for progress. Because if businesses didn't have to be incentivized to keep growing no matter what, because I think I was getting on this with fucking stuff like cell phones and technology in general, where it's like everyone has to keep innovating if they want to keep selling products, because they have to keep going. They have to keep existing. They can never make enough money and then stop. They've got to keep growing forever. And so like phone companies have to keep making new phones.
Yeah.
And they would have no incentive to keep making better technology if they didn't have to make better technology, you know? Like you get to that certain level of being a company where they just need to progress, and then this is, you know, that's the whole benefit of capitalism, is like if you took out the incentive of
continue to strive to do better.
You have to continue to strive to do better, and that's what motivates the economy and keeps technology going, because everyone you can't stop. There's no end. And that's just like, that's it, man. That's the economy. That's life, man. I have no like ending point to end that on. It's just the nihilistic observation of like, fuck, we're trapped in this cycle forever. But then that's also, the cycle is also perfect and necessary. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if it's miserable or the greatest thing ever. That's capitalism for you.
That's true.
It's both the greatest thing and the worst thing ever in the world.
I think the problem is with the whole making jobs for the sake of making jobs to continue a company, is that a lot of these jobs are basically unnecessary. They just exist so the company can be considered more profitable because they've made jobs.
Yeah, and then and people need jobs.
The work
so like
is not rewarding. It's literally, you feel like you're just spinning your wheels, and so it's a completely it's a moot point, you know? Like,
got me.
Yeah, maybe you got this, you know, bachelor's degree and now you're doing whatever for whatever company, but you don't feel like you're making any real impact. So what's the point?
What is the point of anything? What is life? What is love?
But I guess, you know, at least with some jobs, you can see a direct impact that you have on the quality of life of other people, and that you're, you know, actually actively making a difference. Because, like, being a vet tech, you know you're making an active difference in at least, you know, the lives of, you know, whatever animal you're working with that day. You're not just going to a call center and calling, you know, 700 people to try to get them to buy life insurance, or whatever the case may be.
What if Gurren Lagann is actually about capitalism? Because the spiral energy is the force of capitalism. Because it has to grow forever. Everything has to continue to grow in order to sustain itself. Because if we stop growing, our economy will collapse and we'll be done.
Your camera's unhappy.
No, it's fine. It's because I don't have a memory card in it.
Okay.
So I'm not recording. The camera's fine. Capitalism is an Ouroboros. The world is a vampire. It's sucking us dry.
A slampire.
What time are we? We're probably done with this episode. I'm floundering. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about with capitalism. You guys, everyone fucking gets it. Everyone knows about capitalism. Anyways, it's 35 minutes. Next time on Digibros,